Hi everybody, this video is sponsored by a contribution from Anonymous, and this is what she wants you to know. Dear Ollie, I enjoy watching your videos and I find them really helpful. Keep your chin up and don't mind the haters. I consider myself one of the fortunate ones who was able to get away from the abusive father of my son and went no contact after a 7-year relationship and one child. It took me years to understand that he was mentally ill because he used all the typical narcissistic strategies on me. I was very young and completely inexperienced when I met him. Although it's been 32 years, I've lived a full and purposeful life since then and raised a wise and loving son. Sometimes I still feel the bruises and scars on my soul. These people cause lifelong damage, and that they do. He would constantly tell me I was stupid and ugly and would never be anything in life. As soon as our baby was born, he started to say he was going to disappear with the baby and I would never see him again, even though he demanded that I not put his name on the son's birth certificate. And the reason why he did that, in case you left him with the kid and try to hit him up for child support, his name's not on the birth certificate. It would make it a lot harder. Not that you couldn't do it, you could after the fact, but that's why. All the while, he kept me completely dependent on him and would take my money, take any money I had away, leaving me unable to even meet my basic needs. He isolated me from all my friends and family members. He woke up the morning he woke up from a deep sleep and jumped off the bed and slapped me across the face while I was breastfeeding our baby was the last straw for me. It was extremely difficult for me to get away from him because I was broke. I had no family and no one to turn to. But somehow I made way out of a no way out and got out, even though it took some time and life was pretty hard for a while. I wanted to share this letter he wrote me and realized I was gone and not coming back. This is after he demanded that I come back home where I belong so he could kick my ass. Gee, that would really make me want to go back to him, right? Must have been tactics that worked for him in the past, though. These violent, abusive narcissists will continue to threaten you physically. I was terrified of him being able to find me, and soon after this, dropped all contact. So here's the letter. Please comment. Parts are a little difficult to read because of the lack of pronunciation, weird pronunciation, but I tried to write it just as the original letter. It has the header on the top that says, I now declare you are free from trouble from me. Baby love to, baby's name. My name, are you really going to be like this? Just because you're scared of me? By now I figured you really freaked out and went into hiding. What's it like hiding with the baby's name? Can you depend on these words as true? Listen, my name, I'm not going to harm you even if I see you. I've suffered enough. He's suffered enough. So he's beating the shit out of you to the point where he slaps you in the face while breastfeeding a baby. But he's suffered enough. You see, these narcissists are victims no matter what. No matter what, the narcissist will always be the victim in their own mind. I can't put more lies on baby's name, and hiding out is putting extra on him. So please let it be known I'm not going to hunt you down, contrary to what you feel. And this may be the last thing I say that's true. I say to you, Anonymous, please stop hiding. Spare him from any stress like that. Oh, he's just trying to draw you out. He's either trying to draw you out, he's either doing one or two things, and I might be able to ascertain as I read on. He's either trying to draw you out or put you in such fear and hiding that you don't come after him for any type of child support or anything like that. I don't know, we'll see. I went into the welfare department to ask them to help me find my son through the computer. You never had much sense anyway. But finally I withdrew my petition after thinking what little baby's name was doing since his father was not around to play with him. Oh, and a great example that you would have been. I lost all my video and film at the theater. The man was a self-proclaimed filmmaker. But I couldn't tell you on the phone because at the same time you were telling me I was going to lose the baby, and you same day and those that followed, the police, really were on my case. They treated me like a dog scum, and all those people we used to know stood by laughing, and I had no one to turn to. Now I am ill from exposure. I hope you're okay with the baby. And baby, I really mean to tell you to relax about hiding. I will not harm you. He must have been getting some massive pushback, man. He must be a really known abusive dickhead, because it sounds like people were turning on him, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it one bit. Yesterday I called Jay, and it was then that I knew somehow that you left me. So what can I do? More than thank you for the time we spent together. Since you left me, Anonymous, then go. These past 2 months I did suspect that's what happened, but I was still clinging to the baby. It took you 2 months to figure out your wife had walked out on, like, come on, man, this doesn't even make any sense. But this is the narcissist's last-ditch effort. The narcissist's last-ditch effort is always pathetic, and this is a pathetic letter. Now you can have him and all the karma that comes with your decision and the sneaky way in which you executed your plan. No responsibility whatsoever for causing her to run away by being abusive. Still playing the victim and trying to give cover to himself from the heat he was obviously catching around town. For my part, I wash all my hands of this matter. He washes his hands of you. Do you see that? You walk out, you leave him, and now he's washing his hands of you. Even at their lowest moment, they are still going to try to come off as superior to you. I'm glad I'm not around to hear it. One thing is for sure, Anonymous, this is this. You are not right, and it is a pity, but you will pay. Right now you are anyway. Wishes of bad karma and more veiled threats. The same thing happened to me at 7 months. My brothers, it happened to you, and my sister's name, and your brother, and now it's happening to the baby. Oh God, Anonymous, please. He is not to live with his righteous people, no matter how fucked up I am to you. And what about him? If you are getting your pieces together, what about him? I watched you the day you gave birth to baby, and the day you left me. To find you, even though you are an agent of this Babylon, it's not that hard. So just relax. I'm not coming to find you until you say so. After all, you left with what is not yours, and you're going to be like this. And you're going to be like this to me, Anonymous, especially in this time. I don't think you know what is happening. Wow, this guy was spiraling. He's throwing it all out there. Veiled threats. I can still come find you. It really doesn't matter what I did to you. Think of the baby. So obviously he feels his behavior has no effect on the child whatsoever. And he's telling you right in the letter, I can find you anytime I want, and it doesn't matter what I did to you, because it doesn't matter. All that matters is the baby. Regardless that his behavior, it would be absolutely 100% detrimental to that child and probably fuck him up for the rest of his life. And you left with is not yours. Ownership, again, ownership over the child. Even though it's half both of you, it's his. On my way out of the welfare office, I saw a cartoon of a she-dog-like creature who was arrested by the welfare police for being in heat over her young, the father of whom had just dumped all his shit on the mother, and she was found hiding out with her offspring. In the caption it said, "The kid, not yet 2 years old, had enough sense to conceal a sharp, straight razor and wait until the right time to slit his mother's throat to ease her and let her out of most of her shit, which she had secretly stored up all these years out of fear of the art police. The boy long suspected his mother to be an agent of Babylon." This guy, now he's using agent of Babylon, he's using Another threat. So that kid's going to turn around and cut your throat. He is nothing more than a violent narcissist who can take responsibility for nothing in his life. Nothing. He just feels entitled. So anyway, Anonymous, you take care. And I mean it when I say that. I don't want you to put a tracer out on you because it will affect the baby, and what you are doing right now is affecting him, maybe so you don't see it. But take your chance. Just one veiled threat after another after another. I never trusted you anyway. And what a way for us to go out, eh? Yeah, what a way for you to go out. Slapping your friggin' wife, and I don't mean you friggin' wife, but slapping your friggin' wife as she's breastfeeding your newborn child, and then playing the victim and blaming it on her. To know the baby in the hands of Babylon once again is very sad. Maybe at least Babylon will allow him to see my family, or are you going to rob him of that too? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have anyone around you because your family raised you, you fucking sociopath. Bye, Anonymous. Well, that's the letter. What do you think? At any time, I started to wonder if I could have done more to include him in my son's life. I pulled out this letter to reread, and I realized the only sane decision would have been exactly what I did. Run, don't walk, and never look back. Yikes. Wishing you all the best. Please don't use my name. Making a PayPal contribution. Anonymous. Well, you absolutely did the right thing. You could have taken that letter and gotten an order of protection. But I kind of understand why you didn't, because then you might have had to reveal where you are. You would have had to give him a specific location on where you are. This is a guy who was at the end of his rope. And from what you were saying, when you left, it sounds like whoever knew you or knew of you as a couple turned on him hard. And he didn't know how to handle it. So he handled it the only way he knew how. Violence. And even though this is in a letter, and there's no direct threat, it's all veiled threats of violence against you, because that's all he knows. That's all he knows. That's all he knows how to handle. Because he didn't know what you were going to do. You could have went after him for child support. He would have been on the hook. You could have gone and exposed him. You could have probably pressed charges against him. You could have had him on stalking. Okay? But he couldn't so he didn't want to deal with that front. But then on the other front, it seemed like he was catching a lot of heat from the other people outside the relationship who just looked at him as this violent scumbag. And he couldn't handle that either. So he had to do something. I don't even think he knew what he wanted to do here, other than hit you. This was his way of slapping you in the face again without having you in front of him, because that's all he knows how to do. That's all he understands is violence. The violent narcissist is always going to resort to violence, period. It's just their nature. They don't give it up. They like the charge they get out of it. They like the narcissistic supply they get out of the physical abuse. It makes him feel like a man. And he's not a man, and he knows it. He knows he's a feckless little bitch boy. That's why he needs to slap on women, and that's why he needs to continue his pattern of abuse. He's reacting, and this letter is just him reacting the only way he knows how. Through violence. Through violence. But he was smart enough to know, and the fact that he didn't say, I'm going to come kick your ass, when, he basically went that far anyway, basically admitting what he was doing, is because he was afraid, because he didn't know what you were doing. So I hope you kept your child away from him and his family, and continue to do so, because there's nothing that's going to come out would have came good out of this in regards to your child. Nothing. He would have learned from his father, and he probably would have turned out to be an abuser as well. You did the best thing. You did the right thing, and I hope you're no contact and you stay no contact. because this is sick. This is sick. You got everything here. And he's still, even though he basically admits to beating you, he's still the victim. He suffered. And it doesn't matter what he did to you. What happened to the child matters. He could give a shit about that child because, I mean, that statement is a lie anyway. How can an infant, it not matter what happens to the mother when you're an infant? Seeing your mother get abused, learning from that sort of pattern of abuse. He only cares about himself. He will only care about himself. And his only answer to anything in his life is violence. The violent narcissist will always resort to violence. Period. Thank you for your story and thank you for your contribution. Took a lot to do that. Thank you everybody who's watched. Please leave your opinions or any advice you have in the comments section below. And remember, if you want your story read on the channel, you know what to do with the PayPal link in the description box. I'll have it right out to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again shortly. Bye.